Good evening and welcome to the 9th episode of 3 Minute Thursdays. Today we are going to cover Your Brain at Work by David Rock Part 2. Last time I talked about how the Zoomba group was making noise and how that was getting me irritated and the technique of creative labeling. I also mentioned the techniques to handle the scarf threads, labeling and reappraisal as two different techniques that David Rock explains, and I made them out to be a 1-2 punch rather than two different techniques. Now, reappraisal I found to be a bit theoretical and I found it hard to apply. By some coincidence, one day morning I saw a Facebook post from Kumaran, my co-founder. And it went like this. I am standing in the Chennai airport at 5 a.m. in a long queue and I am getting irritated. Now, instead of stopping with being irritated, Kumaran came up with something called tiny shift, which is brilliant. What he thought is, I am here in this queue because clients want to meet me. If no client want to meet me, then I won't be here. So that's a good thing. Second, so many people are flying. That means the economy is doing good. So that's a good thing. Third, the government has added now 10 counters instead of the 1 or 2 they had. That's a good thing. Just as he thought this, a smile came to his face and irritation went away. This is what he called as the tiny shift, which is nothing but reappraisal. Now, how do I apply this technique to the Zoomba problem is what I started thinking. How do I think the thoughts that Kumaran was thinking in his tiny shift? And that led me to the other interesting aspect of the scarf model that David Rock has talked about, which is the same things that are treated as triggers for negative behaviors or threats can also be triggers for rewards or good behaviors. When you get promoted, your status improves and you are happy. When your boss gives you autonomy, your freedom improves and you are happy. When the company treats you fairly, you are happy because fairness is important. So the same things that are threats can also be seen as a reward scenario. So I decided to apply this to my Zoomba problem, to the tiny shift. First shift I did is to think in terms of status. I am a fitness evangelist. And here is a bunch of people that are exercising while so many people else in the community are sleeping. So I should be happy instead of being irritated. Second, these are all people from the same community I live in. These are my friends. So I decided to label them Zoomba friends. And as soon as I did that, a smile came to my face and irritation went down. The same music which was noise earlier was fun to me now. Now I became more and more curious. I asked them about why they use a certain technique versus the other, certain music versus the other, and these days we send positive vibes to each other. This is how powerful the technique of tiny shift and tiny labeling is. Now the interesting thing is you can apply this to good behaviors also. So you give a tiny labels to those good behaviors and do them more consciously. That will make it stronger and it will also make you happier. With that, I thank you all for listening to me to the coverage of Your Brain at Work by David Rock Part 2. Episode number 9. See you all again in 2 weeks.